Before we wander on into the episode, I just want to make sure that everyone goes out there and hits up the YouTube, check out the Spotify, check out Apple, wherever you're listening or watching to this podcast, is to go down, like it, subscribe, hit the bell if it's YouTube. Make sure you're getting those reminders. We do put these out every week. So make sure you do all that. It helps us out. And in the long run, we can make better things. So again, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff.
We're going, and that hail, and it's like I got hit like once or twice in the leg, and you're just like, oh fuck, that kind of stings. And then it's all of a sudden, boom, boom, it's hitting the kayak, boom, boom, oh my back, oh my arm, oh my head, just and it's just like pedal, pedal, paddle, paddle, paddle. We can wander our way over, because this is Wandering Ways.
What's Bigfoot possibility?
Clink.
Clink. What's up? What's up? What's up?
Oh man, that's an interesting one. Not much, man. Just recuperating, doing whatever, getting all that glacier-fied kind of decompression, kind of planning the next adventures. Got some stuff in the works. Our friends at Kick-Ass. I'm just going to start off with this, man. They sent me a oven for the Jeep, and it's going to go in the Jeep. But I was talking to Jared. I'm trying to convince Jared to take his Jeep down to the Tetons and do a video with me because the AC on the Rougarou blew up again.
Oh.
And they're going to work on it. So I don't know how long they'll be working on it. And I'm trying to convince him to do this because the video, the idea behind it is steaks in bear country.
Oh, I remember you actually mentioning that.
Like going out to the Bear Tooth, and we're going to cook steaks out here in bear country.
I mean, you do you. The oven, I'm honestly a little surprised you got an oven because it's like, I don't picture you much of a baker anyway, or an oven user,
Yeah, an oven. Yeah, I'm not. But what I like about it, and what I like about like what this provides,
I get it. You want to bake someone a cake while at a campground.
There we can.
I get it. This guy, he's always thinking of people's birthdays. He's like, I'll take this. What he just got married, so he's gonna take his beautiful new wife. They're gonna go camping for the weekend, and he'll be like, what's better than fresh baked cookies right now?
Yeah, put some chocolate chips in there.
Yeah, and then they'll have cookies at the campfire. I already see it right now.
Well, the nice thing about it is it's yay big. It's going to fit. It'll fit in the Rougarou. I'll make sure that goddamn thing fits in there. And what I'm excited about with that is if you do cookies, right, you throw 4, 5, 6 cookies in there. That's it. It's that big, you're not. It's a good amount. You're not overdoing it. It's not like, okay, well, let's cook 50 cookies because we want to use all the cookie dough. Nah, just a little bit here and there. Be good. And then some steaks. Cook some steaks. And then they even provided like a deep dish tray. God, we're going to get it good. Oh, I'm excited.
I love it. I love it.
But and we'll talk about this today. We'll talk about this when we do the glacier breakdown. But think about when we got to Many Glacier after that hike, and we had the hot dogs with us right there. You can cook them in the oven.
Oh, that's actually a good point. Never really kind of thought of that aspect. I mean, we ended up not cooking the hot dogs anyway that night. So, but no, so I mean, the oven will be cool.
I'm excited. That Jeep we've had some nice people reach out to us recently. We got some good things going. I know Squatch, our friends there, got repping the t-shirt, looking good, getting content for them, getting content for Wild Witch Farms jerky, Kick-Ass. I'm excited to see where it goes and see what we can do and see what place, looking at these next places to go, the Redwood. I'm excited to go take Jared to the Redwoods.
Yeah, that'll be dope. The redwoods are legit, and it's a good time to go in the fall. It's not my favorite time to go in the fall, but I mean it's hard to beat the redwoods. So, but I'm personally a spring. I like when the clovers are out and for the redwoods.
That makes sense, but the weather will be nice in the fall, which is good. That Northern
Yeah,
California weather, especially early September. So that's
yeah.
exciting. But I hear you got big news in your world too. Your adventure rig well, it's becoming an adventure rig, I guess.
Yeah, no more Jack. If you're familiar with the Tales of Jack, that Jack was the blue Jeep Compass that I owned for, oh shoot, long time since I when I lived with Matt. That's when I first got it.
Yeah, like 20, what, 16, 6 years, about
Uh,
six,
20
7 years
yeah,
probably.
2016, something like that.
Yeah.
Had like 150 miles on it. That thing went everywhere. um, I mean, shoot, I did two massive road trips in that thing. So no, but the news is I got myself, nickname still pending, the Reverend's Ride.
The
Um,
Reverend's right. All right.
yeah, I wanted to. I'm trying to think of something as funny as like Pope Mobile. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, oh, the Reverend's Ride.
Exactly. Exactly.
So no, but I have a van. I've been talking about vans. I've wanted a van. It's not a big Sprinter van. It's a little Ford Transit, small one, but only a two-seater, driver and passenger, and then it is gutted. Nothing in the back. So the opportunities are low-key really endless.
They are.
Um, I'm meaning to like I'm meaning to go and measure it out and then kind of like draw up some ideas with it. The big thing that I want to make happen for sure 100% is like a bike rack in
Oh
there,
yeah.
which I already kind of have one. I have like this little wooden bike rack in there. Actually going to go and take it on its first adventure this weekend. I'm going to Crater Lake to ride around it, ride around the rim on my bike. So it'll be a little day trip. I'm literally going to wake up like super, super early, get there, ride it, make a day of it, and then hop on out of there. Probably get back before 5 p.m. to be real.
Nice, nice. Way to make do with the free time you got.
Oh, I've been doing that. I'm
I mean,
still recovering.
oh,
So, and I mean, partially because I haven't really stopped since I got back. So,
right. No, it was. I mean, life has just been so busy
mhm.
after Glacier, after the wedding, after all. It just boom, boom, boom. Let's go. We still got shit to do.
Yeah.
I'm excited because like what I like about sometimes our adventures like that is like we do so much.
In fact, you know what? Let's go ahead and review the trip.
Okay.
We can talk in detail about how much and so much stuff that we did, because that's kind of the episode.
Fair, fair. I appreciate it. I enjoy it. What I like too about this is, this is our big trip of 2022 that we were able to do together. I'm sure there's going to be a fall or winter adventure that comes out. You never know. There's those little ones that sneak in there,
Mhm.
but this was definitely that big one. We did a lot despite the Yellowstone floods, despite the snow and glacier. Um, despite the thunderstorms in Sealy, we were able to, I think, accomplish a lot, do a lot, have a lot of fun, and just get one with nature in Montana.
Yeah, for sure. We do one big trip a year, and it was the big one. And we sure did fill up a lot. And a lot of variety in reality. There was a lot of different stuff. I mean, if we're talking about stuff that we literally just did together, I mean, there's fishing on the Bighorn, there's fishing in Sealy, there's kayaking. We took took the Rougarou on some back roads, went to Glacier. What else did we? I mean, and then we went to a lot of places
Well,
in Montana itself.
exactly. I mean, we just to lay it out, I think, you landed in Missoula, ran a marathon. Matt Buddy picked you up, brought you to Prey, Montana, where we hung out with Jared. We drove back into the wilderness there in his Jeep one day. We did a Jeep trail the next day. We got to Billings. In Billings, we spent some time by the Yellowstone River, exploring that, and had a lot of family friends come and join us, and that was a good time. We were able to fish the bighorn, like you said. We were able, after that, we experienced a crazy thunderstorm in Billings.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
And then from
we were
there,
able to do,
yeah, from there we went up to Sealy,
yes,
which is where we did kind of 4th of July, that kind of stuff. And the weather for Sealy was really not the best this year.
a lot of rain and a lot of thunderstorms,
Yeah, a lot.
which I've never in the 15 years of going up to Sealy for like the fourth.
Yeah.
It's been pretty, like, I've never had that much lightning.
Yeah, there was a lot. I mean, I'm trying to think. Pretty much every day, minus that first day we got there, which I think it ended up in the middle of the night raining.
Yes.
But that first day we got there, which I mean, we got there kind of late. Mainly
Yes.
because we got such a late start because we were trying to help that lady with her tire.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. There was no, like, I feel bad because, like, I could have avoided it by finding like a better parking space, but I was like, oh, like, there's no parking spaces right here. I'm just going to whip in and run into Walmart real quick. And I saw this old lady and she just was fixing her tire, or her tire was flat as shit. And
yeah.
she's trying to wave someone down for help. And she's got this like walker and stuff. And she was probably 109 years old. No, she's
Oh,
probably like 80s, 90s easily.
I think when Lewis and Clark went through the area, I think she was there.
She told me her daughter was coming from Minnesota to help move her into a nursing home.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, for sure. And that
and it's
tire
like,
was flat. I think she tried driving on it. Because
for,
she did end up driving on it, or I guess Tyler did, but
yeah.
um later. But I think even before we got there, she tried because the way the rim was.
I think exactly what you said. I think she hit the sidewall and drove on it for a while. I think the lug nuts were kind of swollen, but I don't know if they were necessarily swollen or if they were had an issue, because like she did drive on that rim a little bit, like if that messed with it.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
Um, but that's life. You help people out, you figure it out, you move on. And we got up to Montana. You guys were able to stop there in Helena and get that fresh water off McDonald Pass.
Oh, sure enough, hydrate or dihydrate. We got to make sure we fill up anytime we get that good.
I mean, was it good water?
Yeah, I mean, it was good water. I don't know if I was ranking waters, I've definitely had. I don't know if it cracks that top 10, to be honest.
But you have ranked waters before, so
Yeah, it's a fun game I've done with people. For anyone out there, Bryce Canyon National Park has the best water. um, but they do. I don't know. I don't understand. You go into the visitor center there in Bryce Canyon, and that water just hits different.
It's good water. No, I've had it. It's good shit. No, and then from there, yeah, we did the Sealy, and then on the 5th, we moved on up to Glacier, and we're able to do a chalet, camp, do the Iceberg Lake hike, and get out and actually spend some more time in Sealy. And then you guys parted ways, and it was a good trip.
It was a very good trip. But to really kind of get the in-depth, I guess, we will. I don't know if a true Wandering Ways review fits well here. Just because, well, we'll go through the categories and we'll kind of decide as we go. That'll be fun.
Yeah,
But
we'll talk about it.
yeah, exactly. So I guess first thing we'll do off the get-go um, is before we get into our rankings, our 1 through 5, all that deal. Um, what was well, I think I know the answer to this, but what was the highlight of that trip?
Oh, the wedding for sure,
Oh, that's what I
but
thought
like,
it was. I
but
was
when,
gonna tell on you if it wasn't.
but if it in reality for the nature aspect, for the podcast aspect, I'd say the chalet. You know, doing that chalet in Glacier, that is a bucket list item. I'm glad we were able to do it while we were young and able to do a hike like that. Um, I was, yeah, I mean, yeah, the wedding was great. Like, obviously, highlight. That's why it was a Montana focused trip, I think. And it worked out well. But when you look at like what we did in Glacier, I mean, to hike 8 miles, do Iceberg Lake, wake up the next morning, hike up to a chalet, and I round down in
Uh,
hiking.
you rounded way down because it's 10.
And then we hiked up to the chalet, which is what, 3 miles.
Yeah, I think it's closer to 4, but
And it was good. It was a beautiful experience, a beautiful time. All of it, honestly, all of it, the whole week, both weeks. I mean, it was,
that's why I said highlight. And the one thing that stands out, because it was all really good shit. But I want the one that stands out for you.
yeah, no, I feel you.
Um, no, I think for the nature aspect for me, the chalet is the highlight as well. I had an idea of what I thought the chalet was going to be, um, and it met that idea for the most part, but it also was kind of different from what I thought it would be.
What
And
I
not
guess
in
what
like a bad way or anything. I don't think I expected the like people working up there as much and that kind of deal. I expected some
Oh,
because obviously you're gonna have somebody up there manning it. Um, so I mean, it was still very very cool to go and experience a chalet, and I mean the views up at the chalet. I still kind of like are like incredible. And part two, I think I said that up there too. Is like I feel like it was like fake almost.
no, it had that surreal feeling, and I guess, yeah, you're right. The Schley met my expectation. It met my expectation because like it's old, and you've been in those old buildings before, and it's like okay, the railroad built it, yada yada yada. Okay, it makes sense, like what it's going to kind of be. You see the pictures of it. The only difference I kind of thought, I guess I didn't really expect the employees. I didn't really know what the employees would be doing or what they do. I thought maybe the park, for some reason, I thought the park ran it. So I thought like you'd have a ranger up there. Um, but I thought that it would be more like, I thought it would be like the living area would be more shared and like you walk to your room, kind of like a hotel with like a pool area where you see like, but the pool area being with the rooms kind of around it.
Yeah, I for some reason I thought like yeah, I think I talked about how I thought it was like going to be a hostel. And so I guess in my head I had very hostile like vibes, thinking like, there'd be rooms with like tons of beds up there
Right.
where, it's like a shared sleeping area almost. Which, you know, I get why it's not like that. You probably
Right.
get a lot more people when you have privacy of your own room. So that makes actually a lot of sense. It's not like how I kind of pictured it. But I thought it would be like very hostile-esque
Yeah.
almost.
No, I get what you're saying. It was beautiful though, the whole stay.
Yeah, Glacier was fun. I mean, we go into depth about Glacier with Matt and Tyler, who did it with us in last week's episode. So if you
Right.
haven't listened to that one yet, everybody, make sure you go and you listen to that one because it's a good time. It's the first time we had 4 people on, so it's a little different, but still a good time. Um, I kind of, I guess we should start. let's go into maybe a little bit more detail about like essentially the beginning before the wedding stuff, because we really brushed through it, given it's not a whole lot of time between between when I got into Montana that Friday. It was 5 days until the wedding. I think might
Right.
be six.
Right. I mean, we got in, you guys drove down to pray and we had some time there and pray. So we decided to, Jared was ready for us, ready to do that. And we decided to drive the Mill Creek Road up and actually see some of that Yellowstone flood damage.
Yeah, you can see a lot of it, not just up that creek that we went, but we because we drove to Chico Hot Springs, um,
Yep.
and so when you
Yeah.
kind of get by the river there, you really kind of see it too.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. By the outpost and the old saloon down there. Yeah, there was definitely signs of flooding, and we saw that bridge that was washed out, and
Yeah,
just wild how to go experience that, and then the next day wake up and go do the Jeep Trail. Which it's an OHV trail right there above Daly Lake in Paradise Valley, and you look down. I mean, that's a beautiful valley.
it was, and we did it on an amazing day.
It was
It
beautiful.
was, it's really, especially for that kind of area, I think it's hard to get the day that we had um, there, because we got up, it was sunny, but it wasn't like crazy hot, and there was no wind. So
No wind, not a drop, which is crazy for Paradise Valley.
yeah. So getting up there and being, and there are no clouds in the sky either. So it's just like you could see 4 days. And in reality, we probably could have just hung out there for like hours among hours among hours. But
Yeah,
you know,
I
we
would have been
had
down.
we had places to be, mainly Billings. So
Exactly. Well, we got into Billings. We checked out. We got we kind of hung out. We were able to fish the Bighorn River, which was how I had fun. I mean, we were able to raft it. It
yeah,
was flowing
yeah, you
quick.
guys keep using the term raft for this. That's not a river you raft on. There's no rafting involved. You float it, and sure, the boat is a raft, but when I think rafting, I'm thinking white water.
Yeah, there was none.
No, this is a fishing river. Rumor is pretty popular one.
Exactly. Yeah,
So
one of the best in the world, and we were able to catch some fish.
yeah, there were two boats. You, Jared, and then your uncle and your dad were on one, and then it was me, Matt, Tyler, Josh, and Santina on the other one. And really, only Matt and Josh were the ones fishing on our boat, which was fine. I didn't want to. Um, I was fine guiding that little boat. The water wasn't crazy. Um, Matt caught one kind of.
Kind of.
So, he got one on the line and he ended up losing it, partially because I think he got excited and yanked because he pulled the fish out of the water.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, I've seen the way that fucker reels.
yeah. So,
When we were up at
and
sea.
to be fair, Josh got excited too. He went like jumped up, grabbed the net. Like there was a lot of excitement over it. So it wasn't like just Matt that got excited, to give him some credit. But
Oh no, I get it. When we were fishing up at Sealy, man, I was watching him throw those lures, and he just reels so quick. It's like slow it down, make it look like a fish swimming in the water.
yeah. So, but I mean, it was a good time. I do got to say, like, there was one part, the water's so clear up there, you can kind of see through. And there's one part we went by and we saw a ton of fish.
Oh, I
We didn't
bet
catch any
there.
that time near that spot, but
No, you look in the Bighorn there. You look down, and you're just like, there's got to be 100 fish just chilling there.
yeah. And so, what's wild is like that reminded me of Alaska when I was up in
Oh,
Alaska seeing the sockeye. But and this is what makes Alaska so wild, is like that was nothing compared to up in Alaska.
oh, right.
It
No,
is,
it's
yeah. And I mean, there were a lot of fish in this spot, but I mean, I remember being up and putting the polarized glasses on up in Alaska, and it was like, what the fuck?
Oh, I
But
bet.
it was nice to kind of relive that moment through it
Yeah.
there on the Bighorn.
Oh,
And I mean,
nice.
it's a
Good.
pretty river.
Oh, and it's a different it's definitely an Eastern Montana feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were able to get back to Billings, do the hibachi, do the wedding, do the cleanup, get Matt left Billings to go to pray for a night. He got
Yep.
banished away.
Yeah. Well, he went to go get his car.
No, yeah, I know, but he was banished for a while. And then we you were able to experience one of those nice Eastern Montana Billings thunderstorms that people rave about sometimes.
Sometimes. Sometimes. No, so yeah, no, there was a nice little thunderstorm. Yeah, we were up on the rims, we watched it. If for anybody out there that doesn't know, Zach loves weather. So I mean, he gets a full-on dad boner about weather. So yeah, you were definitely way more excited than I was, but there was still some solid strikes.
Oh, it's fun to watch because you can really the big sky country, especially sitting up on the rims. You're just like, and over there is a nice sunny day.
Yeah, yeah, right. So I was kind of thinking of getting into sport fishing again, but I feel like I need a good quality net.
Well, you know what, Reverend? I got the key solution for you. Our friends at Blue Ribbon Net make this eco-friendly aquafade bag, so you're not hurting the environment. It's 100% biodegradable. Plus, the wood is locally sourced and it is also biodegradable. And it's just such a great company to use. The Blue Ribbon Nets, they're here in Bozeman, Montana. And we even have a discount code. That's right. If you use the code Rougarou10, that's right. That's my Jeep, the Rougarou. Rougarou10, Rugaru10. You're going to get some discount on a Blue Ribbon net. You can get the long one if you're fishing the big fish, or you can get just the good river one, if you're like me and just want to catch a lot of fish.
So again, make sure you go check out Blue Ribbon and use the promo code Rougarou10.
Hey there, Reverend. I heard that you might be running dry on your sticker supplier.
Yeah, I've been looking around and I've kind of like run out of cool stickers to buy and put on water bottles and stuff.
Well, I mean, have you seen the stuff Josh has been coming out with lately?
No, I have not.
Well, he is doing some really cool stuff with the Shop LS574. Yes, they're working with indigenous communities and making some really cool stickers. He has a really cool Buffalo Mountain sticker. There's even water bottles, hats, sweatshirts, the whole swag. And we even got a discount code for you guys. Yes, if you use Wandering Ways at Shop LS574, you're going to be getting a discount on your next purchase. But not only that, you're going to be giving a percentage of that sale to the Little Shell Tribe, as well as they donate $1 of every sale to murdered and missing Indigenous women. So just such a cool thing going on there. You use the code Wandering Ways, WANDERING WAYS, and you put that in there, boom, you're getting a discount.
So yeah, speaking of weather, I think it's a good in how excited you get over the weather. I picked one of this week's cool shits in nature because it's that time. Thinking of you, I thought of you with this one.
Good. I'm glad. I'm happy.
So,
I'm happy to see what comes of this.
yeah, so just a second, we'll get it up here. And the other one is low-key something I want to talk about, but which is why that one's up there. But let's do this first one, which is, I believe, hopefully this one. Yeah. So it is up close footage of a tornado.
I would love to experience this.
Yeah. So it's pretty wild. It's kind of a big tornado, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah, it's a little scary, but like it's still dope as fuck.
Yeah, it's pretty wild to see. But yeah, I thought of you because you love your freaking weather so much.
Would you not want to see that though?
Not that close.
Okay,
Not
but
that
like
close.
imagine, yeah, okay.
I'm pretty
That's
happy with this video, to be honest.
this is a little too close for comfort. I get that, but like it's a good video.
Yo, yeah, the guy whoever took this video, like kudos to you. But yeah,
That
I
little
mean
house,
it's wild.
it's a little house right next to it. You see that?
No, I didn't see the little
Like
house.
that's the bushes and shit over there. I think to the
Yeah, I
left.
see bushes and stuff. I didn't see a
I
house.
think that's a house. I think that's like that's how far away this guy is. That's how big this tornado is.
Oh, damn.
Looks
Yeah.
thick.
Yeah, it I mean it does. I mean, it looks big. So,
Wow.
but no, then the other one is it's a video you sent me.
Well, I
But
said it.
yeah, you sent it to me.
Prove it.
Oh, and when you see it, you'll know. Okay. No, for the people just listening though, it's a little Instagram clip sent out by Zion National Park, basically updating about fires. So I guess technically this isn't that cool for cool shit in nature. Um, but and it wasn't this video. You sent me a different video about Zion. No, about was it Canyonlands or Zion? Or no, Capitol Reef. Sorry.
It was on fire. Yeah.
No, Capitol Reef was flooding.
Flooding. Yes, there was a flooding one. Yes.
Yeah, that's the one you sent me, and you sent it, and I just texted back. I was like, "Mother Nature really taking us out this year."
Well, which is interesting because like I'm looking out the window here and it looks like it's going to rain again in Billings. And it, like we've had for Montana, we have had a lot of rain this spring and summer. So
Yeah, we've had a lot of rain. In late, we've had a lot of late rain.
mhm.
Was it? I said I'm going to Crater Lake this weekend, and they just opened like like a week ago from this recording. They just opened that the full rim drive. Yeah, which is kind of wild. I ended up doing some research, and there are some times that they don't open that road until July, but most of the time it's June. And this was
Interesting.
the latest date I saw for
So
sure.
this is like kind of like going to Sun, where going to Sun was delayed this year as well.
Yeah, and I mean, when we were up there for the chalet and stuff, it was kind of nice learning and knowing like why it kind of takes a while for them to open it up. Because there
Well,
was
I
a lot
didn't
of stuff I didn't know that went into it.
like, and it makes sense though. It's like I didn't know that they take the guardrail down every year.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. And that makes sense. Instead of building a new one every year, why not reuse? So that way you don't have to keep buying new material.
Well, and it makes sense when I think of like the Beartooth Pass as well.
Yeah.
I assume they would probably do something similar up there.
Yeah, I would think so in certain areas, depending.
Yeah, the
Um,
avalanche areas or the like snowdrift areas.
Yeah, totally. And then the fact that once they have the snow moved, they wait for the concrete to dry.
Yeah.
Which that made sense to me too, because water expands things, the expanding and contraction of like melting water and ice and all of that.
Well, it's still cold up there.
Yeah, it is. And so they need it to dry so that way the roads don't get all fucked up. Um, well, I'm trying to remember what ranger talk. I think it was Canyonlands when we sat for that ranger talk, and we talked about how the canyons, the rock is eroded away, and the cracks are formed, and melting ice was one of the reasons.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I
Interesting.
remember. I remember that talk, and then when they said that's why they're waiting, they wait for the concrete to dry. I was like, "Ooh, I get it," and it's because of the Rangers in Canyonlands.
The more you know.
Exactamundo.
No, that makes sense. That was an interesting fact that like, and then what was also really interesting was the fact that when we hiked down from the chalet to the loop,
Mhm.
loop trailhead point, they had the Going to Sun Road closed. And
Yeah.
I've never been on the loop in my lifetime when it's been closed. So for like what it's busy. It's one of the busiest parts of the park, I would say. And
Yeah, I would say so too. Just because there's a good little parking spot, like right there at the loop. I mean, there's a shuttle stop there.
well,
There's
I think it's
trailheads
also a
there.
turnaround. It's a turnaround for some of the larger vehicles.
Yeah.
So
So
I think right there they have to turn around. And then you also have um what you call it? I think there's a bunch of other trailheads going up like down. Like there's a few other trailheads in that area.
yeah, I think so. I don't know off the top of my head,
I mean,
but
it feels when you look at a map, it to me it is the center of the park. Like just based on those mountains and the mountain ranges and the like build of the park, it's very central.
yeah, it is, and it's kind of like if you're on the west side, it's kind of like it's a good little chunk of the road too. So I think that has to play into it. But yeah, so I mean, ultimately we missed the Going to the Sun, which is fine. We had a hell of a trip. Um, but after Glacier and a little bit before, we were in Sealy, which was mostly filled up with, I guess the first part we fished mostly. You, Matt, and Thea got on the canoe, and you guys fished for a while I kayaked around Sealy
You
Lake.
know, I the two things when you kayaked I was thinking about was you probably could have done the whole lake. Like just if you would have stayed like 10, 15 feet off the edge, the shore.
Yeah, I probably could have.
And then you ended up taking the Clearwater River down all the way to the cabin.
Yeah, where I had Matt pick me up there, which that's fun. That's technically the second time I've done it on a kayak. And you get some faster water at one point, which is nice. I mean, you go by all those houses where it's like little calm water, like going in, and that kind of drags on, because you can't really
Yeah.
gain speed either. So you're like trying to just chug away at it, and you're getting somewhere, but not getting somewhere with it. Um, but I enjoyed going in the like faster water because yeah, I'm there by myself and low key being a little dumb. I'd like try and hit corners really fast in it, and
The
just like
nice the nice thing about that river right there is, yeah, if you hit your head, you're kind of fucked because you're not
yeah,
wearing a helmet there. But you fall in,
yeah,
worst thing worst, you're getting up in the like you're standing up, and
yeah,
I think your kayak isn't really getting too far away from you. And if that does happen, I think you go find it on the Blackfoot. It's got to get to Salmon Lake. Somehow you just follow the river.
yeah. It really low risk there. Um, but I mean, it was fun. I was trying to go like around rocks that really I wouldn't normally go around, it was a dandy time. I mean, and then fishing got a little sad later that day when
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
yeah, when your little brother caught two turtles. So which was really, really, really sad to like witness.
It was Matt and him interacting with the turtle together was the greatest thing in the world.
It was, and it was genuine. It was genuine and like low key adorable.
Well, because you could tell like Matt and Joe kind of have the same fishing experience, right?
Yeah.
Where it's just like, oh shit, we caught a turtle. What do we do?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, it's
Yeah.
fine. It
I
did it
can't
to
believe you caught
itself.
a turtle, Joe.
I know. Just mind blown. I'm sitting there like, I am. We never not catch a turtle off this dock.
Yeah.
They're assholes, but no, it's yeah. That was something else. And then Matt apparently he walked down into the cove and he caught what a couple little perch. He said or something.
Did he catch one then?
He said they were little ones.
Oh, okay. I can't remember if he caught one then. He might have. I don't know.
Matt, the more and more I'm thinking going fishing with Matt, and what like pisses me off with him, because I keep trying to get him to come just to Billings, just like it's cheaper than gas to fly right now sometimes when you plan it out. He can come out here, he can fish, and it's his kind of fishing because it's reservoir fishing. You fucking throw a worm out and then
Yeah.
just sit and drink beer, and that's Matt's kind of fishing.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, so I mean that was the last time I did any fishing. And again, I didn't throw any rods or cast at all. But that was the last time I went because I was kind of done with the turtles. we
I
caught
don't,
we caught too many non-fish for me to be cool with it.
that was funny, yeah. And then yeah, I mean, because then from there we did, yeah, that's when we headed up to.
Yeah, then I mean we went up to Glacier. We did another kind of like off-road drive.
Oh, at Sealy, yeah, we drove
Yeah.
up to the fire lookout. What was your thought of that?
I mean it was cool to go up. The flowers were very, very pretty. So that was nice. Getting up there, I mean, good views.
That
A
rock.
crazy storm. So that's right. The like best meditating rock I've ever seen in my life. And I found some good rocks, but this one was like pristine. It was like a nice
Like
square. It was in an open area. It had a view of like a valley. I mean,
you on a clear day, you would be like, you can see all the way to Butte from there.
yeah, I believe it. It's the kind of spot you would see someone meditating in a movie, where they try to really outdo it and make it like this picture perfect thing. That spot really was kind of like that kind of deal.
And you really haven't dropped that much footage or pictures of that spot yet.
Well, maybe I don't want people to know where it is.
That's fair. That is fair. That is fair. No, that was a cool little drive. Matt was kind of on our nerves that day, though. I remember, and we so you and I drove up it together, and he took his little Tacoma behind us.
Well, he wanted to take his car anyway.
Yeah, that's what it was. I mean, he was
Yeah.
really wanting to do that. And then after, I mean, we did Glacier. You can hear about that in the review, which was
Mhm.
last week's episode. I mean, Glacier was chill. We were able to camp outside of the park in a different campground. Normally, we stay at the KOA there,
Yeah.
uh, but Glacier Campground just as good, just as fine and dandy. No hot tub though.
No hot tub, which it's a bummer, but it was fine. But then after Glacier, we got back to Sealy, and it was really chill, really chill. I actually had to do some work that morning, and then we went kayaking,
Yeah.
which we talked a wee bit about on the last episode. But it's the one where we kayaked in the hailstorm. So
Well, and exactly, and it's one of those kayak canoe trails that it's really nice. The Forest Service, has these launches and these ramps and stuff and parking lots for you, and they call it the Sealy Canoe Trail. And typically it takes about 2 hours to do. I saw, right?
mhm,
Well, I looked at our pictures because there's a picture of you right before we get on the water with the Wild Ridge Jerky,
mhm.
and there's a picture of me holding hail in my hand from when I like get off the kayak. It's about an hour,
Okay.
so we cooked it a little
Well, yeah,
bit.
we did. And because we're a bunch of idiots. We put in, and then we're not even 100 feet away from where we put in, and we just hear and we're like, oh crap. All right, let's keep going. So
It's not raining yet.
yeah, and then we kept getting more and more, and we're like, oh, we gotta start like going quicker, quicker, quicker. And then we get out of the trail and into
Yeah.
the lake, and then that's when it really started.
Well, starting to think about those clouds like that make those ball, that ball
Yeah.
look. Where there's those are hail clouds.
Yeah,
And they were like, you can see them on that video. They were pretty magnificent.
they were very cool clouds.
So I think like the more cool they become, the
the
bigger the hail is.
I may be.
And because it was wild, man. It was like you're on that canoe trail, we're about halfway done with it. Just a little bit of rain picks up. We're like, okay, that's not bad. The storm's still far away. We can see it. Get to the end, kind of towards the end, the last 75-80% of that canoe trail, the bigger raindrops are coming. It's like, all right, we're going to be wet. That's fine.
Yeah.
Didn't really want to get this wet, but whatever, that happens. And like you said, all of us get out onto the lake, the deepest part of this journey, the most dangerous part of this journey, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Because the water's still pretty cold up there. And we're going, and that hail, and it's like I got hit like once or twice in the leg, and you're just like, oh fuck, that kind of stings. And then it's all of a sudden, boom, boom, it's hitting the kayak, boom, boom, oh my back, oh my arm, oh my head, just and it's just like paddle, 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 and you're like looking for the ramp, which is really hard to find on that shoreline. And I'm like, just go straight and then find it, go to the trees. Matt and Tyler on the sit up like kayaks, so they're fully exposed.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, and like of the two people that like in that, like Tyler, I'm okay with in that case. But Matt, like if Matt gets hit in the head and fucking just rolls off that kayak into the water, I'm like, I don't want to be calling Randy and saying, hey Matt, or hey Matt's dad, Matt fell in the lake.
Yeah, right. No, it was wild. I remember we got out on the open water and it started like raining, and then it was a little bit harder, and we're like, oh, it's hail. And I remember seeing like one of the hails like early on, and it was like big for hail, and I was like, oh, they're big. And then like they just kept getting bigger and like more of them. I was like, oh fuck. And then it was just like
Well, to me it looked like when you see those movies of like the Normandy and they're storming the beaches there, World War II, and the bullets are just hitting the water. I mean, that's the hail, man. Just and like it's creating waves, and you're on those kayaks and you're getting hit, and you're just like trying to pedal. And like the other thing with those sit up on the flat ones that worry about me, because I've flipped those before when trying to go fast.
Yeah.
Because you get that weight by doing that, and oh man, those guys, I was so worried. I was like, well, at what point do you just jump in the water and kind of sit under your kayak?
I didn't even think of that. And honestly, that's what we probably should have done a little bit. I just, we're out there and we're like in the open. And my thought is like, one of us is getting struck by lightning because we're out in the wide open. And so I'm like yelling, which you can't hear because it's falling so goddamn hard. I'm like yelling at Tyler and Matt, like, just get to a shoreline. Get out of the open water. Get out of the open water. While I'm like, I just beelined it to a side. Like I was I'll get to the side and then I'll just go up. And like my thought, I'm going and I'm like, someone's getting struck. So I keep looking like around every once in a while, making sure I can account for anyone I can see. And I was like, I'm thinking I'm jumping in the water to try and save someone's life at this point.
I'm paddling because I'm like out in the front, and I'm like, I look back and I see you just kind of drifting away the other way, and I feel like he's going the wrong way, but I was just like, make it to the trees, just get to the trees.
My thought was just get to a shoreline and then go up the shore. I was like, I'll find it then.
Oh my God,
I didn't want to get struck by lightning, and I was sitting where I'm like, there's nothing around me. Like I could get easily struck.
It was, oh my God, it was
next
level.
It was wild.
Next level. Like
it was. I was not really anticipating.
I
tell you how much I wasn't anticipating it. I put tanning lotion on before we went. Didn't need any of that.
Well, I mean, that's what happens in the mountains. Sometimes those storms move in sooner than they're projected, and I think that's what happened that day.
Yeah, totally.
And you take like Matt, Matt was in like a tank top. Tyler had his shirt off. Like
Oh, I was into sleeveless.
my life vest was like behind me under the kayak because it's like, oh yeah, I have one on board kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's like low key, I probably should have put that on because that's going to also protect me from hail a little bit.
Yeah. No, totally.
We lived.
Yeah. And that was kind of the last thing we did because next day we kind of
Well, that night, me, Matt, and Tyler went, and Joe and my dad went fishing. I caught pike.
oh,
Gave
that's
it
right.
to Matt. Matt actually he ate it and he said it was real good. So
I don't trust that guy's taste in fish.
or food.
Oh,
Like he said,
food. It depends, but
he
fish,
calls himself a garbage disposal, man.
that's true. But after he was saying like the fish he caught in what's that little pond?
Oh, respond, yeah.
Yeah, and he said it was like some of the best fish he's ever had, and
Well,
like,
to be fair, that one was probably a little stocked 8-inch trout, so it was probably only in there that summer.
yeah, but
But
that's where they take the like,
hatchery fishes.
yeah, you've done your time like in the hatchery, like we'll let you live out your life in some little like home,
like that one. I mean, that's the same one you caught. Like that was a big hatchery fish you caught with your bare hand.
yeah, so it's like that's not a good fish to eat. There are a lot better tasting fish, and I mean, when I say a lot, I mean there are a lot. So I don't really trust Matt and his taste of fish.
No, well, I mean, and I don't know how he cooks it. So
Yeah,
that's the other the fish. Yeah,
I still don't. But anyways, so we don't really have a whole lot of time to go through a lot of the categories. In fact, we're only really going to have enough time to fit in like 2.
That's fair.
We're getting that. But I think they're the 2 most important categories that we have for our Wandering Ways reviews, or our WWR. So we'll start off with the second most important one here. What do you think the chance of seeing Bigfoot was?
Ooh, that's always a good one. Especially out in Glacier, in the forest there, definitely a good spot to go searching for Bigfoot. Out in Prey, definitely another good spot to go searching for him. I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. The Pacific Northwest is that true 5 out of 5. Vancouver Island kind of feel. It's not as populated, whereas like Montana is getting more and more populated, and I mean, he's out here. I just don't know. The chances of seeing him are a lot harder.
I think I honestly think it's more of a 4 out of 5.
Okay.
We got to some spots that are pretty tough to get to at times. So, I mean, we hit some real hot, I think some real prime Bigfoot areas. So, that's why I think it's a little bit higher, because we hit some of them. If we didn't hit as many of those kind of spots, the 3-2 Glacier's always a great spot. I think Sealy, he could be around Sealy, I think for sure. So, 4 out of 5 for seeing my boy Big out there.
Fair.
And then that leaves us to the last one. Overall, what'd you think?
There was so much that happened. There's so much we did, so many different experiences. Just I guess all types of emotions too kind of came out in a lot of people this whole trip. Overall, I'll give it like a 4 out of 5. It wasn't that trip that blew me out of the water because, well, one, it's in Montana, it's my home.
Yeah.
But it was a lot. I was playing a lot of like the role of like organizing it or setting up stuff, with the wedding in there. You had the adventure in Glacier, kind of just like the ever-changing bullshit with that. So, it was like, I would love to have done the Highline Trail. That sounds like it's going to become like a later July hike, or if it's a really droughty spring, it might be better. But definitely there's some other things that like could have gone better, would have been better if they gone a different way. But not in reality, it was a fucking great time.
Yeah, 100%. For me, it's a 4 out of 5 as well. It was a good trip. You know, did a lot of stuff. It was a great time. It just nothing really truly like blew me out of the water. You know, it wasn't I mean, it was still shit, fuck, ran a marathon. You know, you had your wedding. We went
Right?
kayaking, hiking like multiple miles and ton of elevation. So, you know, it was definitely a trip. It's definitely a trip I would do. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
if you said you know, if you were to lay out this trip and things that we did and then say like who went on this trip, you'd be like, oh, that was for sure Mark. So um so I mean, it checks all the boxes for sure, for a hell of a time. So, you know, it's a good trip. You know, I'll definitely, you know, I don't know if I'm going to go back to Montana for a while. You know, I think I've
Oh
seen
no.
enough of Montana, which is probably why it's bumped it down a wee bit. Is I might be Montana out. You know, that was what,
I
fifth time I've been to Glacier.
Yeah.
And then had we gone to Yellowstone, that would have been like my seventh time or something to Yellowstone.
And that adds up, and it become, when you do that, and there's other trips that you want to go do and explore, like in North Cascades, you're going to, to me, I feel like that's a park that you're going to get the same glacier feel from. Rainier, you get a similar feel to like Glacier from. And those are parks that we really haven't done yet. And in my book, it's like, yeah, like exactly. Like, yeah, I'll go. I mean, I'll go. Don't get me wrong. I'll go to Glacier and Yellowstone any day of the week. And I will, I'll be going to Yellowstone here shortly. But as we do these bigger trips and these wandering ways trips, there's a lot of other places that like
Mm-hmm.
we need to go, because like we can't just sit in Montana and Oregon forever.
100%, 100%. There's a lot that I want to do. But anyways, I got to be that guy. It is that time. We are at the end. And so now it's time for our final words. So, final words, my guy.
Well, let's just start off by thank you to all the wanderers who get here. We just had the 2 year. We had
Oh, not the 2 year,
no
100.
2 year. We just had the 100th episode.
2 years coming
Uh,
up, though.
the 2 years coming up. We have some trips, kind of some smaller trips in the works. We have some of this fall, like it's Oregon State football. I got to get out to Oregon, so I'm going to possibly, hopefully, see Mark one of those days, one of those trips. Maybe not,
Yeah,
but
who knows?
we'll try. And then getting going with the other guys. I was talking to OBJ and trying to get him out to Yellowstone for a weekend, or the Tetons for a weekend, because I really need to get into the Tetons. I'm itching for them, and I'm kind of getting mad that I can't take the bear tooths there yet, because
Oh,
that's
yeah.
close. But the bear tooths are open now,
Oh,
so
there you go.
I'm, like I said, Steaks and Bear Country coming soon. Check it out on the on the YouTube and on the Instagrams. All
All
right.
right, we'll be looking out for it. Reverend's final words of wisdom. Stay beautiful, everybody. Cannot tell you how thankful and appreciative I am of every single one of you. It's always a pleasure to do these. Have a lot of fun. I guess this final words today is just being more about thankful, being blessed about being able to do the things I'm able to do, because my free time is definitely winding down here. I think I really realistically only got about a week, and then maybe some random times here and there. So I'm trying to fill up as much of it I can, which is why I'm going to Crater Lake to go bike it. In my new van. So we'll just stay tuned to see those kind of things. But with that being said, peace out, everybody.
Bye.